Our session today will look at the multilinear demand equations. And as we analyze such equations, it must come to your mind in understanding the principles embedded in such. So to start with, elasticity is a very important component because it helps us understand how to deal with related goods and income. So what you can see here is a demand function with a number of variables. This is a brand called fruit drink and is given by the demand function Qx is equal to 10 minus 5px plus 0.011i plus 10py. So this function here already tells us that there are a number of variables that are involved here. So we have the particular good x on x. So this is called on-price elasticity because it's dealing within the good itself. Then the elasticity of demand of good X to income, this is called income elasticity. And the good is crossing in terms of sensitivity from good X to good Y. This is called cross price elasticity. So now this takes us to the types of demand um, that we want to learn here. So, and there are details that are involved. So when we're dealing with elasticity of demand, we have three main types of elasticity. There's what we call um, price elasticity of demand. There's what we call cross price elasticity of demand. There's what we call income elasticity of demand. So for price elasticity of demand, I think we dominated on it yesterday in explaining that elasticity of demand can either be elastic, unit elastic, and inelastic. Okay, so this was on yesterday's lesson. Then when we talk about the related goods, we have what we call the substitute goods and complementary goods. So from my own definition, what do you think are substitute goods? And what are complementary goods? What are substitute goods? And what are complementary goods? Can you hear me? I love a participative class. In case you missed yesterday, I said yesterday we looked at a very common kind of elasticity, which is called on-price elasticity of demand. And on-price elasticity of demand is given by percentage change in quantity demanded over percentage change in price. So elasticity, we look at it at different levels. There's what we call price elasticity of demand. When it is elastic, this is when we have greater than 1. In elastic demand, when price elasticity of demand is less than 1, this simply meant that the quantity demanded changes is less than the price changes. Then we have unit elastic demand. This is when elasticity of demand is equal to 1. So if you're given a multilinear equation, you needed to understand that um, the elasticity of demand can either fall in any of these four categories. Then we went to explaining the determinants of price elasticity of demand, what affects elasticity of demand. So the availability of substitutes. So if you have available substitutes, elasticity of demand will be more elastic. So people will be sensitive. They'll easily switch. For instance, amidst the bread, ShopRite bread, if there are other brands available, you need to be careful in how you manipulate the prices because people can easily switch. So the availability of substitutes is one of the key determinants of price elasticity of demand. The nature of the good, if it's a necessity, it's inelastic. For instance, shimmer. or millimeter. It's inelastic. People just complain but still buy. But if it's a luxury, people can just switch. The proportion of income spent on that one. If you are spending more, it is more elastic. Okay, like fuel. The time period. If the period of time is longer, it is inelastic. If it's short, it's very elastic because you don't have time for alternatives. For instance, when there was load shedding, it came by surprise, or COVID. You would still buy things there and then. And some goods, it depends if they're addictive goods. So if they're addictive goods, you still buy, like alcohol or cigarettes, you know, those are some of the determinants of demand. All right. So we looked at an example. Elasticity of demand, we said, is what percentage change in um, price over percentage change in percentage change in quantity over percentage change in price. So if petrol, for instance, the price of petrol increases by 10% and the quantity demanded falls by 5%. So the percentage um, quantity demanded falls by 5%, so you put negative 5%, and the price increases by 10%. So if we divide 5% over 10%, we get 0.5%. So this means that demand is inelastic. So there's also another type of elasticity which we call cross-price elasticity. Very important kind of elasticity. It's jealous kind of elasticity. It looks at how the behavior of one becomes when,
Sir, sorry.
yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Collins. Are you able to start again? I'm just joining. Wait.
Um, I'll send
If
the
you, I'm
recording.
kindly asked.
I'll send
Oh,
the
okay.
recording, yeah. So cross-price elasticity measures how much the quantity demanded of one good changes when the price of another changes. So cross-price elasticity is a percentage change in good A over percentage change in good B. So it looks at how you react to changes in buying cornflakes when the price of milk has gone up, or how you're going to buy shortbread bread if the price of pick and pay bread goes up. So this is a jealous kind of elasticity. So if you get a positive elasticity of demand, it means these are substitute goods. So when price of good B increases, causing the demand for good A to increase. So this means that that kind of a good is actually a substitute good. So if you are going to demand more of a good because the other one has gone up, it means these goods are competing, they're substitute goods. So you get a positive elasticity of demand. If you get a negative elasticity of demand, it means these are complementary goods. And complementary goods arise when the price of good B increases, then your demand for good A also decreases. So meaning these go hand in hand. So in an instance where the fuel price goes up and you decide to not buy a car, it means those are what? Complementing each other. Okay? If one becomes useless, the other one becomes useless also. Then we also have what we call zero elasticity of demand. It means these are independent or unrelated goods. All right? One's price increase does not have an effect on the other. For instance, shoes and sugar. The elasticity of demand is zero. It means they are unrelated at all. So this is another important kind of relationship that you need to know. Lastly, but not the least, we have what we call income elasticity of demand. Income elasticity of demand looks at the percentage change of quantity demanded over the percentage change in income. So for this one here, it looks at how income effect works. So if you have your elasticity of income, which is greater than zero, a positive, it means that as your demand increases, your income also increases. So this goes for clothing, restaurants, and meals. But if your elasticity of demand is still on the positive and greater than one, it means that is a luxurious good. So it means your demand rises faster than the income. For instance, the demand for car, holiday, those are luxuries. But the necessity will fall within zero and one. So it means demand is slower than income. For instance, salt and bread. So income elasticity, in short, falls between zero. If you have a negative, these are called an inferior good. An inferior good is a good which you demand less of as income goes up, not because you can't afford, but because you can afford better. For instance, uh, thrifted clothes, second-hand clothes, or mini meal. When your income goes up, you want to buy something that is more that you don't have the most. You want to afford something new. Between, if it's positive, this side here, these are normal goods. So normal goods are goods that you demand more of as your income goes up. Except that between 0 and 1, those are necessities. Necessities may include um, housing, okay, bread, salt. Then more than one, these are luxurious, normal goods. So you need to understand these important terms and categories. So now, with that being said, you would be given uh, an equation to calculate. So for instance, you are given a multilinear equation. So Q is equal to 10 minus, this is good X, 10 minus 2px plus 3py and plus 10i. So you can see there are three things involved here. There's good X and good Y. So if the signs here are different, you're able to tell that these are opposing each other. These are called substitute goods. You can tell from the signs. But if there was negative here and negative there, you can tell that these are complementing each other. They're complementary goods. And the income, if there's a positive, it means it is a normal good. If there was a negative, it means it is an inferior good. So let me ask you again, what is the relationship between good X and Y? Suppose here we're at 15 minus 5py minus 2px minus 5i. What's the relationship between good X and good Y? Just by looking. Good X and good Y. So X and Y are what? Complementary goods. There's negative here and negative there. And what type of a good in terms of income is this? Is this an inferior good or a normal good? There's negative income there. So what does it mean?
It should be an inferior good.
Yes, it is an inferior good. All right. Okay. So an inferior good with the negative sign. Right. So now we go to the given figures here. For instance, say the price of good X, we're given as what? You're given as 1 kwacha. The price of good Y, we're given as 2 kwacha. And the income, we're given as 3 kwacha. So to start with, the -2 here means that if you increase your um, income by 1 kwacha, you're going to decrease your consumption on good X by 2 units. All right. If you increase income by 1 kwacha, you're going to increase consumption of good Y by 3 units. If you increase your income by 10 kwacha, so you need to also know the interpretation of these. So let's substitute these figures we're given here to find the annual demand, the quantity demanded. So here we have 10 minus 2px. Where there's px, we're going to put a what? A 1. And plus 3py. Where there's py, we're going to put a what? A 2. Plus 10i. Where there's I, we're going to put a what? A 3. These are given. So this is 10 minus 2 plus 10 plus 6 plus 30. So what do we have as our total?
44.
44. Right. So our quantity is 44. Then what is the gradient for good x? The gradient for good x is what? Minus 2. The gradient for good y is plus 3. And the gradient for income is what? Positive what? 10. So all these are gradients here. The gradient for good x is minus 2. For good y is plus 3. And for income is plus 10. So to find elasticity, on price elasticity is x on x. That is simply the gradient for what? For x times the price for x. Everything is all about x over the quantity of x. So what is our gradient for good x? Minus 2. The price for good x was given as 1. And the quantity we just calculated as what? 44. So this will be minus 2 over 44. What we get? Negative 0 point what?
Negative 0.045.
So what is your comment on this one? What type of elasticity is that?
Inelastic.
Is inelastic. Good. Then we go to crossing from good x to good y. So the gradient for good y, what is by? Positive 3. And what was the price of y? 2 kwacha. And the quantity was 44. So here we're going to divide 6 divided by 44. What we get? Positive 0 point what? 6 over 44. What we get?
0.136.
0.136. So when cross price elasticity is positive, what is our comment? When cross price elasticity is positive, what do we get? What type of good is this?
That's a substitute.
Good, substitute. If you got a negative, what type of good would it be?
It was going to be a complement.
Good. So here, the issue is about the sign. So even before we calculate the income elasticity, if we get a negative, what type of a good is it? So I was asking if our income is going to be positive, what type of a good is this for income elasticity?
That's a substitute.
No, for income, substitute and complement.
For income. Oh, for
Uh-huh.
income, sorry.
Would be what?
That's
Income, there are only two things, inferior or normal good. For income, we said what?
This must be an inferior good.
Income, there are two things. If it's a positive, it is what? A normal good. If it's a negative, it is what? An inferior good. Okay?
good.
Then for related goods or cross price elasticity, for related goods, if you get a positive, it is what? Substitute. If it's a negative, it's a complement. Okay? For on price elasticity, processes of demand, there are three
I
options.
think that's a normal good.
Okay? So here, what are we going to get? We're going to get what? 30 over 44. What do we get? Positive 0 point what?
0.68. 68.
0 point
68.
68 positive. So what type of good is it?
It's a normal good.
The normal good, yes, because it's positive. All right. So let's go to our exam question now here. So if we're given this, the brand for a particular brand fruity drink is given as follows. So what is the effect of the parameters Px, I, and Py? So those parameters you're seeing there, I was trying to explain them on the numbers. What is the effect of these parameters? So number one, um, the effect is that as follows. Okay, so what is the effect? So for income there, we have 0.001, which is positive. It means that an increase in income will lead to an increase in the quantity of good X, so suggesting that this is a normal good. Okay, PY there we have what? The positive 10 coefficient. What does it mean? It's a positive, meaning an increase in PY will lead to an increase in the quantity for good X, indicating that it's a competing brand, so this is a substitute good. Then PX of minus 5 there, indicating that an increase in what? PX will lead to a decrease in our quantity. So this means that it aligns with the law of demand, where as the quantity goes up, the price falls. So that is the implication of those particular variables there. Is that clear? So what is the effect of these parameters? I've explained them. Then the next question is, as stated in the explanatory values, calculate the monthly consumption of in gallons for fruity juice. So you just need to substitute these answers in there. So if you substitute them, you get what? You get the quantity demanded. Now, we know the conversion of gallons. How many gallons make a liter? 3.7 what? 3.785. So the first thing is to substitute those figures in the equation to calculate your total quantity. So where there is PX, you put 2, since that was 2, where there's income for 20,000, and where there's PY, you put 2.5. So when you calculate that, you're going to get 5.45 liters. So 1 gallon is equal to 3.785. I don't know whether it was necessary. We divide this in terms of gallons, we're going to get 11.89 gallons. Is that clear? So what is the monthly consumption? It is 11.89 or 45 liters. All right? Are we clear on that? So now The second part of the question is, suppose we increased what? A consumption of income from 20,000 to 30,000. How does this change your answer? So income, if your income increases to 30,000 and your gallons increase, what type of a good is this? It's a normal good. If your income increases and you decrease consumption, that is an inferior good. That is what you're being tested here to understand. So what you just need to do here is to recalculate the value of what? Of your income, uh, of the total output. So here, where there was 20,000, we're going to put 8,000. The rest remains the same. So you can see an increase from 45 liters to 55 liters, or approximately 14.53 gallons. So what does it mean? The consumption has increased from 45 liters to 55 liters when income increased. So according to the law of demand, an increase in income causing an increase in quantity demanded will confirm that this is what type of a good? A normal good. Are we together? Are we together? Are we following?
Yes.
All right. Then, as a manager, you're interested in estimating the demand for fruit aside from the variables included in the equation. What variables are included in the equation? The price of the other good and the income. What other factors do you think affects what demand for the fruit you drink? What are the other factors that will affect demand there?
I think we can use the weather. When it gets hot, people don't want to drink more
Yeah,
fluids.
exactly. Weather. I want to drink more of a fruit juice. What else? Okay, consumer preferences and trend. When there are changes in health concerns and the advertising effectiveness. So people are saying fruit is more what? Health concern. So people want to buy more of it. Also, the prices of complementary goods will affect it. So if there'll be snacks that will be cheaper, non-alcoholic beverages, okay, so you demand more of that as well. Okay. And if the expectations that the fruit will go down, it will also what? Determine. Then what is the significance? Explain the significance of what? Economic theory in the relationship between price and perceived quality of the fruity juice. What do you think is the relationship between the price and perceived quality? So in economic terms, we must understand that there is a very strong relationship between um, the price of a good and perceived quality. How people will spend more on what they perceive to have what? High quality. So under economic theory, the relationship and perceived quality have a significant what? Relationship because it can alter consumer behavior and can challenge the standard law of demand. So if consumers perceive a higher price as an indicator of better quality, for instance, fruity juice, okay, then the price increase might not lead to a decrease in the quantity demanded. So this phenomenon is associated with what are called Veblen goods or goods where prices serve as quality signal. It highlights that demand curves may not always be downsloping, emphasizing the role of psychological factors and also consumer perceptions in shaping market dynamics. So those of you who use liquid, even if it goes up, you still want to remain with liquid internet because you are perceiving it to say this is the best quality we have. So increase will also decongest what? The number of users. All right. So this is where we end. I hope the class was insightful. I'll send you homework based on that. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Collins.
All right. Have a great day.